A seed contains a sporophyte embryo wrapped in protective tissues to protect it from drying out, perhaps even environmental conditions such as fire or cold, waiting until the conditions are right for germination. When it germinates, it then produces the sporophyte, which then grows to be a tree. So the sporophyte generation is the dominant generation in the conifer life cycle. This sporophyte will produce two types of cones or strobili. The male cones, or the microstrobili, possess specialized leaves where microsporangia include the microspore mother cells which undergo meiosis to produce the haploid generation of the pollen grain. So the entire male gametophyte is contained within a pollen grain which has a small number of nuclei. 4 cells at first, but one will later undergo mitosis as the pollen tube forms and sperm are produced. So, the male gametophyte generation is very small, contained within the pollen grain and later the pollen tube, and the sperm lack flagella and are produced within this structure. The sporophyte tree produces a different type of cone, a megastrobilus, which has megasporangia, which will undergo meiosis and ultimately form the egg. So thus the seed plants are heterosporous. They make two different kinds of spores in the sporophyte generation. One will ultimately produce the male gametophytes of the pollen, one will produce the female gametophyte. The female gametophyte will develop over the space of a year or so and contain about 1,000 cells. These 1,000 cells will include the gametangia or archegonia, and these will produce the eggs which will be fertilized. They are entirely supported by the sporophyte tissue of the megastrobilus. So this is not a free-living gametophyte. It is sustained by the sporophyte tissue.